Casey Jr. goes back inside. Illustrated and written by Nim Hashimoto. As Casey Jr. was chugging along the track, something weird fell from the sky. So he decided to go in. Casey Jr. was so confused because there were a lot of things inside. There's a green button that says do not press and a red one that says press. Casey Jr. didn't know what button he should press. So Casey Jr. pressed all of the buttons that he could find. Suddenly, the weird thing that fell from the sky shook. It stopped shaking, and he heard the door open. As the door opened, there were a lot of smoke popping out. Casey Jr. went out. There was a volcano, some trees, and grass. Suddenly, Casey Jr. bumped into a beautiful purple tree. The tree picked him up, and he was so surprised. It wasn't actually a tree, it was a Brachiosaurus. Even though the Brachiosaurus didn't know what Casey Jr. is, she decided to give him a tour. When Casey Jr. was given a tour, a dinosaur appeared. It was a pterodactyl. The pterodactyl brought Casey Jr. inside her nest. The mama pterodactyl had a baby and fed Casey Jr. to the baby. Casey Jr. talked to the baby pterodactyl and said he wasn't food. Instead of eating Casey Jr., he decided to give Casey Jr. a tour. Since the pterodactyl was still a baby, he couldn't carry Casey Jr. and dropped him. Casey Jr. fell into the ground and heard loud stomping. When he turned around, he saw a huge T-Rex. Casey Jr. ran as fast as he could to get back to the time machine. Yay! Casey Jr. escaped from the giant T-Rex. Now Casey Jr. was back in his time machine. He quickly pressed all of the buttons. The time machine shook, and Casey Jr. was so scared that he closed his eyes. When Casey Jr. opened his eyes, he was back, and everything was just a dream. Or was it? The end. Did you like this story? Subscribe for more.